Buongiorno, everybody. Welcome to Dorina's Kitchen today. I'm glad you all are here, and I'm glad I'm here. I had a fantastic weekend. Went to the wedding of one of my best friends, one of my oldest friends, and it was gorgeous. She wanted a Halloween wedding, and I guess you think Halloween wedding, you think kind of, I don't know, Halloween-y, cheesy, whatever. This was the most elegant wedding. It was beautiful. Yes, it was all black and red, but it was like, there was like these trees in the middle of the tables that had feathers, black feathers. Even the cake was black, but it was so intricate, and you looked at it up close. It was black lace on black cake, so to speak, with a black top hat on it. It was gorgeous. So anyway, I went to the wedding on Sunday. We had to go to town, but then I came back yesterday instead of Sunday night because I wanted to do some shopping yesterday morning. So I got some more of my supplies that I need to share things with you all. And of course I went to my beloved Trader Joe's. I didn't go to mine up in New Jersey. I went to one here in Delaware, but even so, I was happy to stock up on a few things. And then of course I went to my Restaurant Depot so I could get my other stuff. So we're gonna make mozzarella one day soon because I got some fresh, all my cheese products. I'm so happy. So anyway, today I'm just making a very simple pasta dish that I want to share with you guys and actually teach you about something that you may not know. So actually I'm gonna turn this on to get hot. So I already cooked the pasta. I just took it out of the water. And I'm going to teach you, this is actually a restaurant trick that you can do at home. If you've got to cook the pasta ahead of time, what you do is, instead of leaving it in the water, of course it's going to get mushy then. You want to keep it al dente. But you want to, maybe do it later on or prep for a party. So you just drizzle a smidge of olive oil in the pasta. And you just toss it around gently. Nice and al dente though, not too cooked. And then what you do, if you're doing it for a party and you want to heat it up afterwards, you just do it just a hair more al dente than normal, toss it with the oil, and then what you do is you stick it in boiling water for just a minute. It warms it up, it finishes that last second of cooking, and you're ready to go. Or like this today, I did it because I wanted to not have a hot steaming pan on my stove while we're talking. Normally this dish, put your water on to boil. By the time your pasta's cooked, your rest of it is done, and it's a one and done, throw it all together, and it's beautiful. So we are making pasta with pancetta because I love pancetta. It is one of the best flavors. I'm just using about, not quite a cup, or if you want to measure it, it's approximately 100 and a couple grams that I weighed it just to give you information. So this is some nice coarse chopped pancetta that I just got yesterday. So I'm so happy because I can't always get it down here where I'm at. So I had to get a whole bunch of it and break it up into pieces and put it in the freezer. So we've got our pancetta cooking first. Let's see here. Let's use this one. Oh, I put that on a little high. Oh God, that smells so good. I'm gonna put just a drop of olive oil in there. And what I'm gonna do is put this on a smaller burner. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna cook the pancetta, cook it to your liking. I like it crispy, so I'm gonna cook it a little bit longer than somebody else might. Because for me, I just love the texture and the crunch. Now, what you want is all the little bits of fat that is on it to render, so it cooks down and makes the nice grease in the bottom of the pan. Now, because this isn't that much, it's enough to flavor. It actually was, I said a cup. I don't even think it was a cup. Because once I'm done with this here, I'm putting this, yeah, it's probably half a cup. I'll measure it out later exactly when I post the recipe, which I'm going to start getting on top of in the next day or so. All right, so while that is cooking down, I am going to throw a little garlic in. Whoops. Because I like garlic. I'm just going to put one big clove. Cut off the root. Whoop. And I'm just going to cut this in here. Just kind of rough chop it by hand. Oh yeah. Because you can never have too much garlic. Ooh. See, my pancetta's getting nice and crispy. All right, so now I've got some broccolini. So you can use any greens you want. I'm just cutting off the little brown ends, just where they were, air hit them. And I'm just going to just chop them twice. And I'm going to throw these in now that these are almost where I want them. Turn over those couple big pieces. Let them get crispy. Yum. I'm going to throw in the broccolini. Oh yeah, which I just washed. And, you know, stems and all. And I'm going to teach you one more thing. So this past week in my box, in my Misfits box, I got some carrots with the tops on them. So they were nice and beautiful and fresh. And I cut the little dry pieces here now because I was gone over the weekend. But all you do is you can throw these in. These are just like any other bitter greens. Take the bigger stems off the, oh, there's another piece of broccoli. And I'm just going to cut these up in pieces. Pull out any ugly fronds. Isn't that a crazy word? Doesn't make me think of food, but anyway. That's a big stem. Now these stems are kind of tough, so I'm going to take the stems out. I'm just going to kind of throw this in roughly. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Carrot tops have 6 times the amount of vitamin C that the bottom of the carrot has. Isn't that crazy? 6 times more vitamin C. It's good to throw in, so if you have them nice and fresh, throw them, toss them, cut them up and throw them in your salad, mix them in a soup, throw them in, you know, something like this, just to add some additional green and some vitamins and some color. Who knew? That's actually something, I knew they were edible because if they sell them to you with the greens on them, they got to be edible. It's like beet greens or, well, I don't eat radishes for some reason. They're not my thing, but radish greens, I love beet greens. Really love those. So anyway, so this is pretty simple. I'm just going to let those cook down for a minute. And oh, let me get my lid to this. And I'm going to throw in just a little bit of water. This is actually pasta water. I'm just going to throw a smidge in and let those stems, look at the steam hole, it's so cool. I'm going to let those stems steam for a second, and then I'm going to toss the pasta in. But wait till you see what else I'm going to do with it, because that's going to be the finishing touch. It's so quick. This is a quick and easy. So like I said, by the time your pasta's cooked, you throw these things together. These are my favorite kind of pasta dishes. You don't need to labor over your lunch or your dinner, but you need to labor it with love. But it doesn't need to be hard labor. These are my da Terra Cucina pans that you can order through my page. They're awesome because when you put the lid on this, even though there's a steam hole, it's so quiet. And then you take the lid off. Woo! I'm so silly with the things that I like. Okay. Now I don't like them too soft. And these are nice and baby fresh, so you know they're gonna have a little bit of crunch to them. You can cook them a little bit longer if you want. Again, this is, make it how you like it. But I like my stuff to have some texture, you know? So now we're gonna toss our pasta in. And it's still gonna cook for another minute. This is just enough. This was just half a pound of pasta. because it's just Pasquale and I today. So now I'm going to add some black pepper. Love it. A little bit more olive oil. A little teeny bit of the pasta water. And some Romano cheese, which I just grated. And then I'm going to toss this all together. Oh, that smells so good. So simple. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just test one little piece. Usually something like this doesn't need salt. Because of the cheese, so always taste it before you add salt. My pasta was salted, my pasta water was salted. And, oh gosh, this is so good. Check that out, isn't that pretty? So you got your greens and your pancetta on top. Ooh. And your cheese kind of all coating everything with a little bit of the, see, so the pasta water is already cooking out, but it's keeping it moist so it doesn't get all dried out. And that's that. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to plate it so you can see. And then a little bit more cheese on top. Oop. Escapee. There we go. And look at that. Isn't that pretty? Let me bring it up close. Isn't that gorgeous? Woo! That's our pasta dish for today. So I hope you enjoyed that. So let's go sit down for a minute. Pasta with pancetta, and today was broccolini and carrot top greens. You know, I almost used my, I have some dandelion leaves in the refrigerator. Almost used those, but I really wanted the broccolini this morning. I don't know, just I saw it in the fridge. I was like, that's what I want. So that's what I cooked. I went to, like I was saying before, I went to this wedding this weekend to my friend Leslie, and it was just gorgeous. It was black and red. It was just, it felt like we were in another time. She bought this most beautiful dress that was like vintage and it had the bustle in the back. And then she was able to take that piece off later and have the beautiful long gown. It was black lace over like a, it almost looked like a pinky mauve underneath. So you couldn't really tell it, but you could a little bit. It was just beautiful. So really, really happy for my friend who has been looking for the right kind of happiness. A cheerful, happy person, but looking for this kind of happiness for a while. So I'm really glad she found it. Really, really, really beautiful. So speaking of Halloween, I'm going to talk about Halloween. I don't know who's doing what for Halloween this year. If people are, you know, I saw some stuff on my local neighborhood apps, you know, who's doing Halloween, what neighborhoods are doing trick-or-treating, are we allowing trick-or-treating, are we walking past people, blah, blah, blah. But I do just want to talk about something that I always used to do when it came to Halloween. Please say hello if you're on, so I know you're there. I really appreciate people that are watching, but say hi to me, you know? Anyway, about Halloween. So there was a couple things I used to do. Like I said, one thing was that I used to live in a neighborhood where everybody knew each other. So I would sometimes make homemade treats. Now I know that's the big no-no. Oh no, it's got to be in a sealed package and blah, 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 because it could be an apple with a razor blade in it. But what I did was I made little treats. I put them in little bags and I put little tags on them. And I said, and I put my name. I put a little note saying, you know, this is a Halloween treat I made homemade for you. But I'm a mom of 6 here in your neighborhood, and I've made these special from my heart for you for Halloween, something to that effect. And what I would do is I'd put a little tag, and on the back I'd put my name, my address, and my phone number. There was no mistaking where that treat came from. They could trace it back. So it gave me some credibility as to, you know, when they open this, you know, when they dump out the big, you know, Halloween bag with all the counting out how many Snickers we got and how many Reese's we got and how many of these we got. And then there's the cool bag with the cool pumpkin cookie or the cool Rice Krispie treat pumpkin face or all these things I used to make that were fun. So try that. be 100% transparent. And again, it's easier if you live in a neighborhood where people know you and you know them, at least most of them, so that there's some cross-reference. Maybe a neighbor down the street doesn't know you, but their next door neighbor does, and they know you. So, but put your name, address, and phone number on there, and, or, you know, at least your address, something, so they know which house it came from, and put a little note, and just tie them with a little ribbon, and it's so pretty, and parents appreciate it. Of course, I answer the door, and I say it out loud to the kids at the door as well as the parents on the sidewalk. These are homemade treats, but my name and address is on here. You know, oh, that's so cool, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, since Halloween is gonna be a little, say, I don't know, maybe not as exciting this year, or a little, you know, scary in a different way, not the right kind of scary, maybe do something like that. Or if not, if instead of going out and just buying a bag of junk, make some cookies and go and pass them around your neighborhood, or put them outside in a basket, or, you know, just take them to the kids that you know, and share a little bit of the joy and the fun part of Halloween instead of scaring people, because everybody right now is already scared. Scared of walking around, scared with, you know, of course, Halloween, we all wear masks anyway, so hey, we're all set. But it's a shame that these kind of masks have taken over the fun masks. So I say, make something. Make some pumpkin cookie. Make sugar cookies with the pumpkin face on them. Tie them in a little, just make sure you get those little clear baggies. Sometimes they have Halloween ones, and sometimes they just have the plain ones. You can get them at, you know, any of your craft stores, sometimes you'll find a cake making, you know, cake supply store, or a candy making place, or you can order them on Amazon really quick. If not, you can use a Ziploc baggie. You can put a little note in the back. You can use wax paper bags, which I still get those. You know, they're hard to find, but I get them. Love those. They're much more environmentally friendly too, and good for a sandwich. But whatever way you use, you know, even take a piece of, you know, if you have a piece of plastic wrap and that you can tie it with a bow, whatever it is, but make something and try it, you know. But again, make sure you put your name on it and your address, so that way people aren't going to throw away your hard work, because they're going to say, I don't know where this came from. It could be poisonous. You know what? I think there's more poisons in the preservatives that are in the crap that we buy and give out and say, here, this is safe. You're right. Okay. So anyway, I just thought I would share my little Halloween idea with you. The other thing I'm just going to tell you what I used to do, because, you know, Pasquale would take the kids out trick-or-treating and I'd stay home and hand out candy. Well, you know, what do I got to do? I'm going to sit at the kitchen table or on the couch and then jump up every 5 minutes? That's a pain in the neck. So you know what I used to do? I'd get a chair, I'd sit on my front porch with my witch hat on and my cape or whatever, and I would I'd pull my rocking chair out onto the front porch, and kids would come up to the door, and I'd have my candy or my treats, and I would make them do tricks for their treats. And they're like, what? The first time I did it, the kids were just like, oh, you're crazy, lady. I was like, no. You said, you know what? Do you have a talent? Sing me a song, tell me a joke, all this kind of stuff. So do you know, year after year, kids would come back ready for me. They would come back, I'm ready for you. I mean, like I had one kid did like back handsprings across my front yard. I had songs, I had funny jokes, I had dumb jokes. I had, you know, other little kind of tricks, you know, even somebody would just, you know, dance like this, but it was fun. And it, you know, so I made them do a trick for their treat. It wasn't a bad trick, you know, they weren't tricking on my house or anything and throwing eggs or anything, but it was a lot. I said, you know what, if I got to sit here and hand out free candy, I want to be entertained. So I was entertained. I didn't have to get up every 5 minutes to answer the door. I just sat on the porch. The cooler Halloweens, I just wore a big black shawl and I was plenty fine. And you know what, for an hour or two, it was a good time. So, you know, maybe you could try doing the same thing. Instead of sitting inside with deciding whether you're going to have your light on or off, just go sit on the porch. You can, you know, right now, since it's, you know, COVID, maybe you could put treats in a row across your bottom step or across your stoop or whatever, but still sit up there and say, please help yourself to one, you know, and be right there. Instead of just, you know, I can't stand. I appreciate if somebody's going to be out of town and they want to leave a basket outside with candy in it. But at the same time, I know of people who do that and they're inside because they don't want to be bothered. If you don't want to be bothered, then don't be bothered at all. Forget the candy. Don't leave it out. If you're not going to have the wherewithal to take the moment and give the little kid a treat, then don't even answer the door and don't leave anything outside, because you know what? Never fails. There's always going to be that kid that's going to take the whole thing, and then it's pointless because then somebody took them all instead of one each. So, you know, I think do it the right way. Sit on your porch. And you know, yes, 6 children was a lot of candy. So we used to take it, we'd sort it, anything that was ripped and broken, you know how it is, you throw those couple pieces away, and we would divvy it up, and then we'd save it, you know, dish it out little by little, and you know, I would snag the Almond Joys, and Pat would snag the Reese's Cups, and then we'd let the kids have the rest. Love coconut. So anyway, that's my little tip. You know, I could have waited till later in the week, you know, to be more Halloween-y, but I figured this gives you a couple of days to make some plans and to decide if you want to maybe make some cookies or some pumpkin brownies or something, you know, pumpkin cheesecake swirl brownies. Yum. And pumpkin cookies, sugar cookies shaped like pumpkins, or any other Halloween shapes, but try to keep it cheerful. Forget the, you know, I don't know. I think this year I'm staying away from like witches and skeletons and all that stuff. I just want to have a cheerful Halloween. So I'm making some kind of something, and I'm not sure which one yet, but I might just make big pumpkin smiley faces or something. So, everybody always seems to like it. So it can't hurt, you know? So anyway, I hope that you all have a wonderful day. I'm going to call Pasquale out of his office now, and we're going to have that pasta dish that I just made for our lunch. And that's my favorite kind of lunch. Eat your carbs early. We're going to sit together at the table. This evening we're just going to have some, I don't know, I might just have some, I bought some burrata yesterday. The burrata mozzarella, that's the mozzarella ball with the cream and the stracciatella inside. Oh my gosh, it's so good. A little bit of balsamic on top, some sliced tomato. That's what I'm going to do tonight, I think. It's a little bit of protein and vegetables, maybe a little, you know, some greens on there, some salad. But I feel so much better when I eat Italian style. Because that's my heritage, that's my history, that's what my DNA craves. So we do our pastas during the day. That's why I so enjoy sharing with you these pasta dishes in the daytime, because it's a good time to eat it, you know, and then afterwards you take a little 10-minute cat nap, and then you get up and you have a little espresso, you start your afternoon. It's so nice. So, have dinner with your family at the table. If your kids are home from school, because they're doing school at home, make sure you have lunch at the table. Or dinner, of course. But look up your history and find out where you're from and bring your food to the table, because we are getting back to the table. Join me in this movement. We are growing it. It is growing. I'm doing some serious stuff here, and we're having fun. So, and I feel like so now I'm finally, after, you know, last weekend we went to visit Angelina at school. This weekend I had to go to a wedding. So now all my have to go ways are out, you know, where my other obligations are done, and I'm just staying here, finishing up my house and getting my dining room ready for Thanksgiving. I've got a whole month. And I feel like I'm getting back in my groove here on the show, because I know last week and week before, this is only 2 weeks now that I've been back, and I totally felt a little off. But now I feel a lot better, and I feel like more me, and I feel like I'm getting comfortable in my kitchen. You know, it was kind of awkward at first. I was trying to get my camera the right way and all this kind of stuff, and it's crazy, but I'm having fun. So I hope you guys are having fun too. I hope you're enjoying these dishes. I just want to show you how easy it is to throw something together, quick little ways like this, and enjoy it for you know, your meals, and for your family, because it's really, really important, and it's a lot of fun. So have a great day, and I will see you. I'm probably going to see you, you know, because I didn't come on yesterday, so I'll probably see you tomorrow. Oh, maybe we'll make pumpkin cookies tomorrow. That's a good idea. Love you all. Ciao.